Right, so what's going on, Misfits? As always, I am Chaos the Gamer, and something that I've learned in life is that you just can't win them all. That's just the way it is. You win some and you lose some. And that occurs especially to Bleeding Edge. Now, today I'm going to show off a video where I'm actually going to lose a match. Actually, I think I should show off a lot more of my losses compared to my victories. Because a lot of victories can be fairly easy unless you have those really close games. But for the most part, I'm going to show you guys a loss that I recently suffered. It wasn't a bad loss. Actually, it was a crazy differential when you actually understand how it is that we lost, because essentially the player on the opposing team left. Well, if I'm correct, the player on the opposing team in this video left twice. So we had two different people come in at two different times, and they both seemed to have left. My team was winning by a fairly large amount, and I will admit, I don't like when the game is actually that easy. I would prefer to actually lose to a team that actually knew what they were doing and knew how to pull it together, compared to just winning a game very easily because we're doing 4v3, and that's not really that thing. So in this video, as you can see, I am rolling with the Kulov, as I always tend to. And so far on our team, we have Cass, Maeve, and Miko. Meko. So me, Meko, Cass, and Maeve. This is a fairly good team considering the fact that I am like the only healer on the team. But granted, Meko has options for where he's able to, I believe, get certain health back during certain situations, and Maeve is just Maeve. I don't know how to say it any different. Maeve is just Maeve. But other than that, we also have Cass. I feel like for this match, I was gonna spend a lot of time probably having to do a lot of heals and buffs on Cass. But like I said, the actual turnout of this match didn't actually flow the way that I expected it to. So straight off the gate, we have the game is afoot, and I'm about to. Wow, that was a good freeze. That was a good freeze, Miko. I'll give it to you. So, the game is afoot, and right now I can tell that my team is more than likely going to go for A, because that is the main objective. And the thing about this objective in this area is, as I've said this before, I actually like this A objective, because one, it has that rotating platform that you can actually put your healing circle on, and it can continue to heal. Two, you can actually get to the higher platform, and like I'm doing right now, you can kind of snipe out certain characters, and you can kind of keep track on the objective, as well as those other opponents that are probably trying to run away. Kind of like this Gizmo here. Gizmo's gonna get caught in that cage, and I immediately hit her with my curse, and that's literally just all she wrote. So right now we're still holding the objective, and it is 65-4. The other team is, I want to say, they're not lollygagging, but they are not necessarily playing around, and automatically this guy decided to leave. Now, usually in this game, if you choose to leave, that is just setting your team up for failure, and I would wish that a lot of people don't do this in the future. Granted, I've also had moments where I've been kicked from a game. That's actually happened a few times before, and you know, admittedly, there's nothing that you can actually do about that. But I wish that there was a bit more of there has to be something maybe a little bit different about the leaver penalty, because it feels like certain people just don't care about the leaver penalty. But because of this, as you can see, we're actually starting to get into the situation of spawn trapping on the enemy. Now, like I said, I like to have a fair match, so because this is happening, I don't usually choose to spawn trap the other enemy, and the only reason why I'm choosing to now is because we're having that much of a lead, and it just doesn't hurt to just mess around a little bit. So right now I can tell my team is just having a little bit of fun. Maeve literally just set her ultimate on, even though more than likely she was probably gonna miss. And you can see this Gizmo and Cass, they're trying to ease their way out. I'm not sure if they're actually trying to win, but they're trying to ease their way out. And Cass actually killed my Maeve. which is fine because I retaliated and actually killed that Gizmo before he had a chance to get back in. Now, Cass is going to obviously run in and out, but if you notice, a Zero just joined in on their team. And right now, the way this situation looks, it is literally 2 on 3. And I'm starting to back off a little bit because I'm starting to notice that the amount of damage that I'm taking is way too much. And unfortunately here, I'm going to have no choice but to die. Yeah, I didn't think I would, but Nid's boom hammer is like, it's too good sometimes. So, as I'm spawning back in, I'm thinking to myself, we still kind of have this. There's no way we can actually possibly lose this, but again, it turns out we actually did. So, I'm coming back in, and again, someone on their team decided to leave. It was the Gizmo that I killed. And right now we're about to have all 3 objectives open. Again, we're very far ahead, so I can literally tell the team is just in their, you know, we're in a bit of a playful mode rather than actually being very, very serious about this. Because, like I said, I don't want to blow out the other team if it's just completely unfair. Getting a victory that's very unfair in this game isn't as satisfying as the ones you get when you've done the certain amount of kills and you've actually synergized with your team. So, right now I'm going to get this power up because, like I said, just lollygagging around and I'm going to come in and start doing some damage. I had to throw a shield on this tank character, which I'll admit, when this character first came in, I noticed that I was having to do that a lot with new players who just don't necessarily understand their character as much. And my passive healing isn't enough to really keep a tank feeling like very full on their health bar, so I guess I'm gonna just stick around with this tank a little bit just to mess around. There's nothing really more that can actually happen here, except later on in the match when the objective switches. So, everyone is still kind of messing around. I'm gonna go for the Zero because, as you guys know, I have serious grudges against Zero players. Zero is like my #1 go-to in this game every single time. But I decided to break off, and I believe I'm gonna go back to B, even though the objectives just died. And wow, that train just cleaned my clock. Shout out to that train. That train is the real MVP inside this match. So we're at their spawn, and over here I don't actually like this situation because they're at their spawn and they can get health back as much as they want. Granted, we're still messing around and we're still trying to spawn trap them. And right here immediately I think is when things kind of sort of start to go wrong. Nid put me, Miko, inside that flame and he did his special, which is really, really good on his part because there's no way that I was gonna avoid any of that damage. Even though I was in my healing circle, none of that still matters. So Maeve is over here trying to take on A by himself or herself, and I have no problem against that. Granted, we're still very far ahead. You wouldn't think that it's possible to lose this match, but granted, in Bleeding Edge, if there's only one objective, like I'm going for this power up right here. If there's only one objective, that is the tried and true way that I feel like you would be able to make a serious comeback. If you're holding one objective and you're constantly wiping the other team, that is the best way that you can actually make a comeback on objective control, other than holding all 3 objectives at once and somehow managing to make a comeback. But here, as you can see, this is my favorite spawn point, but for some reason I'm not super comfortable because we just lost our tank and we just lost Cass and Maeve. The reason why is probably because they have both Damon and Nid on the team. Damon as well as Nid, a perfect combination when it comes to dealing out a lot of melee damage. So this tank is gonna go back to A, but we're gonna go back to B. More than likely we're gonna go to B here because that's where everyone's kind of forming up at. And I'm thinking about going to C, but I can see that Maeve's already headed to C and these guys are already headed to C as well. So I'm gonna try to pick up B while everyone else tries to fight a little bit. But here comes Zero. But apparently Miko wanted me to stay here at B, which I don't necessarily have anything against, but here comes Damon. And Damon, I'm not like I'm very confident against Damon. If it's a certain Damon player, you can beat that Damon player if you're playing your ass cool off. But certain players at a skill level, I would not even try to recommend. So I'm gonna come down here now and trying to actually get that objective. But once I saw that Cass died, something immediately told me to tell the team to group up, because I feel like we're winning by a large margin, but something is kind of off here. We're not balanced. We're not like completely synergized. Granted, I'm working together with this Maeve, but instantly, this is the reason why I go for Zero. Everything me and Maeve did against Nid means nothing, and I completely died just now because I was trying to focus in on Zero. Zero came in and completely healed Nid, and it threw off everything that me and Maeve were trying to focus on just now. Which is why I say that he's the only tried and true healer in this game. But I am going to spawn back in. And again, it's 501 to 370. You would think that you would be able to hold it off and actually win this match, as I'm trying to go for now by holding down objective A. But while I'm going for A, I can tell that the entire team is about to swap A as well. Sorry, swamp on top of A as well. And me getting A by myself doesn't mean anything if I'm going to get jumped and I'm not going to be able to hold that objective for as long. So now is the time that I actually choose to go in. But again, Cass decided to pop her ultimate, which I swore she just did recently a few seconds ago, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to try to kill this Zero because that is the first step to anything in this match. But again, right now I'm about to die because running into Nid and then running into Damon is not the best situation to be in. Again, we could actually win this match, but for some reason, as this Maeve player tries to do his best to get rid of Nid, which he actually did, and if I'm correct, he will get rid of Cass as well. Alright, so the Maeve player also got rid of Cass. Now is the time for us to hold on top of objective A. But for some reason, Zero's already back and he's healing Damon. I'm trying to stand on top of the objective. Granted, I'm trying to actually kill Zero, which was probably a little bit of the issue that I'm having a little bit. Anytime I go for Zero, I feel like I honestly get way too distracted and I stop helping the team. As you can see, I'm still going for Zero, but I'm starting to notice that tank character is starting to lose health and Mako is already gone. I'm not sure what the purpose of a tank character is if he constantly keeps dying so fast when he gets 2v1. I understand the purpose of the character itself, but I feel like when this character first came out, a lot of people I was constantly giving them my shield because they just didn't know what to do and they weren't playing their character right. So, granted, it's an advanced character they have to use, so there's nothing much that I can really do about that until later on when I run into more better players that know how to use their character. So, if you've noticed, because of the amount of deaths that we've had, and again, the tank character died again, even though he should have evaluated that situation and known that he can't necessarily win that battle by himself. It is now 560 to our 541. We were literally just winning this, and all it takes in Bleeding Edge to get a comeback like this is just holding the objective and killing off the opposing team as much as you possibly can. This was the first time in a match where I actually noticed a huge comeback. Because, like I said, on objective control, it's almost impossible to get a huge comeback like this, especially if the opposing team is just that good. But, again, we didn't have any other option here. I'm not 1000% sure on what the problem was here. I'm not going to blame it on the tank character dying or anything like that, because I don't like to do that. I'd say point blank, we didn't necessarily focus as a team because we had that one moment where we were just spending way too much time, let's say, spawn trapping and probably just having a little bit more fun. We probably didn't expect to actually lose like that, which is actually kind of fun in a way. The opposing team was probably really happy that they ended up winning that match, so that's completely good on them. But I feel like the way that we lost, the reason why we lost was because we weren't necessarily on top of eliminating everyone who should have been eliminated. But other than that, like I said, you win some and you lose some. Guys, my name is Chaos the Gamer, and if you didn't notice, I really like this Bleeding Edge game, and I really love playing with Kulov in Bleeding Edge. If you like this video, by all means, give it a like. But for now, as always, I play video games so you don't have to, and please, if you're out there, get used to your Meko, because I feel like Meko can actually be something that changes the tide of the game, but not unless you actually understand how to use that card, which is basically what Bleeding Edge comes down to. As always, I'll see you guys later. Peace.